Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the situation report or the SITREP or the summary for the Ukraine war or the special military operation in Ukraine for the day of 1038 to 1039, 27 to 28 of December, which also have all the latest information and geolocations that in my sources are in the map. So we're going to start off with the Kherson front first. We'll go anti-clockwise. And over the Kherson front, we only have shelling being reported by the Russian Defense Ministry. This one, I forgot to cover this. This is from the Frontline Changes report. The Russian report only for their Friday report, which is like the 27th, they did a weekly summary. This is what they'll do every Friday. So there is no mapping updates for the Russian Defense Ministry on the 27th for the Ukraine itself. They only updated the Kursk separately, which I have. They have shelling reported over at Velentenskoye, Antonevka, Pridniprovsky, as well as Mikhailsky. So this is the few locations the Russian Defense Ministry said that they have attacked. But that's all we have over in the Kherson front. Over in the Zaporizhia front, we have only fighting being reported below Kherson, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. They said that the Russians tried to move forward once, and that's it. So maybe there's just some Russian patrols, lost their way and then get too close. But that's about it. Over at Belokhiya in the Orikhiv sector, we move into the Velika Novosilka sector. In this region, we have, of course, the most important news, which I already mentioned in the battlefield analysis that's published on the main channel, and the Frontline Changes report. This update is important because the Russian forces changed their strategic posture in this region. Fighting is reported at Zelenopole as well as Novodarivka. There's also fighting being reported in the Vremivka region and Velika Novosilka. So that's all in the general situation in this sector. But this definitely already changed the logistic situation for the Ukrainians, so it's going to be a bit more troublesome for them. Fighting is also reported at Novi Koma, north of Velika Novosilka, but that's all. We don't have other news regarding that. The town of Perebudova was mentioned for the first time by the Russian Defense Ministry, probably just some shelling, but that's all. We move into the Constantinople sector. We have fighting reported at Rosleaf region, Constantinople, Zelenivka, Sukiyari, Yantarne, as well as Konstantinopolske. So there's some frontline changes in these regions here. Didn't really change the strategic posture. It's just the Russian progression and also the predictable fall of this salient in Gigant or Kihant over in Yatarne. So that's about it in this region here. And this is looking like a mountain right here. The mountain of Constantinople, although there's no mountain over there. So various geolocation of Ukrainian forces getting hit by FPV drones is being mapped in the region. So not particularly important other than the Ukrainians are there. So particularly important is this one near Konstantinopolske, confirming Ukrainian presence in this sector. This is a drone hitting Ukrainian equipment and personnel. So that's all. Uspenivka was mentioned, some battles around this sector, so that's all. Over in the Khodorkovy sector, we have fighting being reported over in Petropavlivka, Sonsivka, Shevchenko, Stary Terny, Dashne, as well as the Battle of Khodorkovy continuing. Russian forces advance along the shores of the reservoir as they continue to move to capture the rest of the settlement. The residential area is entirely captured by the Russian forces. There is some rumors about the capture of the rest of Khodorkovy, which is the power plant, but I believe that is not accurate information. Usually this kind of a very bullish or very exciting news just drop like this, rumors which is not reported by my trusted sources, usually it's not true. Yeah, because something this important would be propagated much more openly by more sources. So Over in the southern flank of the Pokrov front, we have fighting reported at Slovianka, Ukrainka, Novoyelizaveta, and Novo-Olenivka region. And I just want to say, a lot of people always talk about my pronunciations of this settlements, these settlements in Ukraine, and many of them insisted on the Russian pronunciation. Like, like I would have pronounced this as jelly Zavetivka because there's a jelly there, but no, the although it's actually a Y, is Yelizaveta, but they somehow in this English word they write a J, which is kind of funny, but yeah, it's ultimately, I I I I I forgot what's the point I want to say. But no, I get it. I get it. No, people want me to pronounce the names properly, and I really know the concern about it. But no, I don't care. I just gonna pronounce it the way, whatever the way I want it. So, so this is about it. I probably can pronounce this better if I just read the Russian words like Novo Olenivka. This is you. Like I remember my point. My point is, I do pronounce many of the settlements correctly. You need to praise me on those. Don't focus on the small little few that I pronounce weirdly. Something like that. Yeah, I remember my point. Yeah. So yes nove. You see, I can read the Russian word. I actually try to learn the and learn the alphabet, so I can read somewhat a bit, but some of those characters I did forget. Forget. Novo Andreevka. But the English is still Novo Andreevka. It's still not wrong. See, so so you must praise when I do well. Don't just keep talking about he hunt, like is he hunt. It's because it's the right H. So over in the Pokrov sector of the Pokrov front, we have fighting reported at Novovasilevka. Novotoroysk region continued to be mentioned despite the front line seems to be a bit further away. Vovkove was mentioned, Pischane was mentioned, Shevchenko, Virozdenia, Zelene, Deschenske as well as Pokrov is all mentioned. The porcupine continues to be very pokpok around here. The pro-Russian source Ryba mentioned that the Russian forces have captured Shevchenko. So they claim Shevchenko is captured. I don't remember seeing it in the Russian reports. But yeah, okay, let's see how this goes. We'll definitely look out for Ukrainian corroboration on this. And over Pischane, the Russians have taken the eastern parts a little bit more. And yeah, as the battle continues for Pischane, as I mentioned in the Frontline Changes report, this Pischane is very easy to reinforce for the Ukrainians from Pokrov. So this is going to be a very difficult fight in this region. And then we move on to the Minokhrad sector. We have fighting reported at Promin and Mariolubivka. This is not going to do much in this sector. And there is also fighting in the northern flank over at Zelenopole, as well as Vozdevizhenka. So that's all for this region. We move into the Torex front. Fighting is mainly over in the Torex region. With fighting reported in Torex, with also advancement along the main road of Torex moving towards Constantinople. I think it's Constantinople. Constantinivka, sorry. It's Constantinivka, yeah. So too confusing, all the names is all Constans, no? And yeah, so so they captured grounds moving along the main road, moving towards Konstantinivka. Fighting is reported at Shibenivka as well as Novopaske or Petrivka, because the other name is not, the original name is Petrivka. I'm not sure why the Google map changed it to Novopaske for like unknown reasons. Like everyone, including the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, called this Petrivka. So yeah. So weird. Anyway, I think it's just Google Maps trying to screw with you, through me. Like they know that I gotta pronounce it, so they like put it sounds spastic, like Novo spastic. So the new spastic people that watches DPA, like yeah. Anyway, geolocation of FPV drone strikes hitting Ukrainian troops. So that just shows Ukrainians continue to send in reinforcement to Torex. We move into the Bakhmut front. Bakhmut is pretty much the usual. We have Chasifia, Stupovsky, and Bilokhora mentioned. No, nothing particularly special about all these reports already. And every time I see the word stinky, it just pops up on me that stinky. Like, the other words don't pop up so much. Like, mine's gay, it doesn't work. It's like stinky. Like stinky appears. Okay, oops, I forgot to turn off my Discord. Wait. Yep. So moving on. Over in the Sivers front, there is some interesting news. Other than we have fighting report at Bilhorivka and Vilkan-Okanyamske, and we have fighting report at Vimka, particularly in the south of it, where the Russian forces made some advances in this sector. So some geolocation of Russian forces advancing in these regions here. So that's all. We move on to the Liman front. So in the Liman front, we have fighting reported at Terni, Zarishny, Toske, Dibrova, as well as the Serbiansky forestry. Oh, my voice. Okay, I cleared my throat. So Yampil was mentioned by the Russian Defense Ministry, interestingly. So I suppose this is just some shelling reports. So that's all from the Liman front. We move on over in the Svetove front. Actually, I'm thinking whether really still want to call this Svetove because we really have Borova covering this. Maybe I should call this like a separate thing. Like, I don't know, Kharkivka front. No. So at the Kharkivka front, not ideal, but no, yeah, South Svetove front, fighting report at Kharkivka and Makievka. So that's all, nothing special about this. This has been ongoing for a long time. So at the Borova front, we have fighting reported towards Novo Platonivka. So there is this advancement in towards this direction. And fighting is reported at Lozova. But Lozova is mentioned to be captured by the Russian Defense Ministry. So maybe it is something like this. No. Like they have recaptured more grounds and they are moving to this Novo Platonivka. There's a possibility. Otherwise, in this the rest of this area is just the usual mess. We have Nadia, Novoyehorivka, and Svedoklibove, Kopanki, and Poshostrofneve. And that's all from this Borova sector. We move on into the Pichani front. We only have fighting reported at Bohuslavka, Zarizove, as well as Khrushchevka. Lozova was also was mentioned just now earlier. Just now already mentioned this. So that's all. The rhino lives. The rhino continues to survive in this savanna of Ukraine, although there's no savannas in Ukraine. So we move on to the Kupiansk front and the Voreshna region. We have fighting reported at Petropavlivka. At the Voreshna front, Voreshna will continue to be mentioned, and Zapadne. So Voreshna and Zapadne was mentioned by the Russian Defense Ministry. So they continue to report about their attacks in these sectors. The poke is no more. The needle is getting shorter and shorter with the Russian mapping conceding that the Russian forces no longer have any foothold within Kupiansk. So that's about it. We move into the Kharkiv front. In the Kharkiv front, we have Russian Defense Ministry fighting reported at Voschansk. Neckuchne is interesting. Neckuchne was mentioned, and then Lipsy and Slatine was mentioned to be shelled, I guess, because so far from the front line. Neckuchne is a bit of the odd one out. The last report was on the 3rd of December, and before that was on the 7th of July. So this is a pretty quiet place. And now we have the Russian Defense Ministry mention Neckuchne. So I wonder if this is a new action from the Russians to mix things up around here. So, but there is some mapped entrenchment all around Vasily and Malin Vasily. So this is not exactly the best place to really push through. But let's see. Let's see whether this turns out to be anything meaningful. We move into the Kursk front. The Kursk front, we in the southern flank, Kurilovka and Plekovo was mentioned finally again by the Russian Defense Ministry. Plekovo was mentioned on the 28th, along with Kurilovka being mentioned on both days in the past 2 days. So So the southern flank operations now resumed, which also clearly shows that they have not really captured these two places because they are still fighting within this region here. Definitely, the Ukrainians are really giving them the run for their money. We move into the northern flank. So fighting is reported at Chikeskoye Perashnoye, Novaya Sherekina, Kulenkoye, Viktorovka, and Nikoski. So the Russian forces continue to advance to attack in this region, with the fall of Kulenkoye continue to wreak havoc for the Ukrainians. Tactically, here is just very messy. I did cover this in the battlefield analysis, so do check it out if you haven't watched it. I think strategically nothing really changed much, so it's still relevant. Over in this western flank, we have Viktorovka and Nikoski already mentioned. The rest is the usual. We have fighting reported Novo Ivanovka, Leonidovo, Alexandria, Lebedevka, Svetiklovo, Nizhny Klin, Darino, and Nikolaevo Darino. So the Russians are still making their main operations within the western flank. But somehow, despite all these actions and reports of attacks and fighting, the front line don't change. And the Ukrainians also seems to be willing to continue to fight in this region here. According to the Ukrainian narrative of these regions here, although they are not from my trusted source, but from people who are really either very brainwashed or they're repeating Ukrainian propaganda, they continue to insist that North Koreans are in the Kursk. And even at the past, yesterday I did housewarming for my new place where my friends came over. They did also ask me about the North Koreans, and I just repeat my position. The DPA's official position for North Koreans in Kursk is that they don't exist. Then I don't believe the North Koreans are fighting in Kursk, especially not in Ukraine. So, because to me, whatever evidence that came out is still not indicative. And another thing about North Koreans, I did try to explain to my friends yesterday is that for the North, you have to put yourself into the perspective of the North Koreans. If you're Kim Jong-un, why would you not be proud about sending troops to support your great ally and savior, Russia? Like, Russia basically lifted North Korea out of the sanction regime. And if you, as North Koreans giving their always so bombastic, why would they not announce loudly to say that they are proud to support Russia in defending their sovereignty? Because you have to understand, North Korean troops did not enter Ukraine. They are not participating in the special military operation. They are if they are operating in Kursk, they are also just simply defending their allied countries' territory. So in that sense, there is no reason for secrecy. I just want to highlight, there's no reason for secrecy. For North Koreans, given all their bombastic ways and the love for for grandstanding, they would have announced aloud that they are now participating in the operation in the Kursk region to liberate Russian lands. So the fact that the North Koreans have been so quiet about this, and there is still no very definitive evidence of North Korean presence in Kursk, just make me doubt the entire situation very greatly. So, but that's my position. You can believe whatever you want. Like this is the war between orcs and elves, and and the North Koreans are actually Smurfs. So anyway, that's it. So that's the situation report, or the summary for the day of 1038 to 1039, 27 to 28th of December. So the best part is at the end of the video, and this is very often to be the case. So for those that do watch the entirety of the SITREP, thank you for watching. Because I don't play the game of like always put the best things in upfront. I know that, although that seems to be very pro YouTube algorithm, but you see, I'm neutral. I'm not pro the algo as well. Thank you for watching. Press the like button, subscribe. Enjoy your Sunday. I'll see you guys in the DPA open mic. I believe we're gonna announce the winner for the DPA open mic Speaker of the Year, and I also launched a bonus voting for the DPA awards on the DPA Telegram. So check it out. Check out the DPA Telegram to help to vote for the winners for all the various categories. A few of the categories that are which have fewer qualified options, I also put it on Twitter as well for bonus voting. So the this bonus voting, the list of options are the top voted on options in the main voting, which is I have been publishing, over, I think I have like more than 200 over responses in terms of the DPL awards voting. So I just want to have more people able to participate in the voting to make sure that every one of you guys plays a part in the nomination, in the voting and the selection of the winners for the various categories. So do check it out, the DPA Telegram, and especially if you have not subscribed to DPA Telegram, you should. And also, of course, do consider joining DPA's Patreon, support DPA on Patreon. The funding, the monthly contributions will help to create a buffer and cushion for me to continue to report. And for 2025, I've planned to put in more content for the Patreons. So hopefully that helps. And of course, also the content will be replicated as well for the YouTube members. Anyway, thank you for watching. Press the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next update.